Hi guys, let's do the last question of this exercise, which is question number 4. This is basically when you need to calculate mode for grouped data. For calculating mode for grouped data, we need to create a histogram. And to create a histogram, you need continuous data. This data in this specific question is already in the continuous form. Upper limit of one and the lower limit of the next is exactly the same. So otherwise we would have had to first use an adjustment factor to create the continuous data. Now let's plot this as in let's create a histogram for this. So my expenditure ranges from 20 to 50 with gaps of 5. So if I start with 20 here, I will have enough space to go up to 50, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. This is my x-axis, and on the x-axis I am plotting expenditure in rupees. Done. Increasing this side. On the y-axis, which is frequency, I have to go from 2 up to 23. So if I take blocks of 10, then it will become my histograms will be very small. So if I take groups of 5, then I can take 5 or even I can take 2. So I'll have a slightly bigger histogram, and I can go up to 24 with this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 and 24. Perfect. This is my y-axis, and I have plotted number of students on this y-axis. Perfect. And here I look at a kink, because each block is 2 centimeters is 5 units here or 5 rupees here, but the first one is of 20. So I take a kink. Now I start plotting. I have done my x-axis, I have done what I have plotted, I have done y-axis, done what I am plotting, I have taken a kink, I have marked all my points on the axis. So 4. My job to remind you that this software does not allow me the use of a scale, but you should use a scale to make histogram. Right? Do not use freehand. I repeat, this software does not allow me the use of a scale, but you should use a scale for sure. So this is my first bar of 20 to 25. Next is up to 7, which will be exactly in the middle of 6 to 8, and I do draw 7. Perfect. So before I draw the histogram, why are we drawing a histogram? Why can't I just look at the maximum frequency and figure out and say that this is my mode, because that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I could have done that, but now my answer would be 30 to 35. That's not a single number. So to figure out where between 30 and 35 would my mode lie, I need to create a histogram. Like for example, for median, we created a ogive when we had a group data. When we have a group data and we need to calculate mode, we create a histogram, because this clearly is my maximum frequency. So my mode has to lie somewhere between 30 and 35. But where does it lie? Does it lie closer to 30 or closer to 35? I don't know. That's the reason why we have to estimate. Again, this is an estimation. So let's look at this. Next one goes up to 23. This is the tallest tower here. So I will need to be very careful when I draw the straight line. You would draw it using a scale. You would not use freehand. Without using a scale, you get direct 0. I repeat, you get direct 0. You will need to use a scale. Perfect. So here I'm not using a scale. You would use a scale, and you draw a perpendicular and you create the histogram. Next is going up to 18, which is still here, and then I draw a perpendicular down up to 40. I can't repeat more often. Use a scale. Next is up to 6, which is still here. You will join using a scale. And the last one is done. So now that we've got this, I know that my mode will lie in the tallest tower between 30 and 35. So at this point, I take a scale and join my lower limit of the tallest tower with the lower limit of the next one to the right. Right? So lower limit of the tallest tower with the lower limit of the next one to the right. Right? So lower limit joining to the lower limit of the next one, which is to the right, and the upper limit with the upper limit of the previous one. Upper limit with the upper limit of the previous one. I repeat, you join the lower limit with the lower limit of the right one, or the one on the right, and the upper limit with the upper limit of the one with the left. Again, you would use a scale. Here I have drawn using freehand. You would use a scale, and the point where they intersect, you would draw a perpendicular onto the x-axis. You would draw a perpendicular. How would you draw a perpendicular? You would draw a perpendicular using a scale. Again, I am repeating, you would draw a perpendicular using a scale. So here it is. This is the point. This is the point, it is advisable to write what number this is. So in this case, I have 10 markings, small lines, and this seems to be my 8th small line, or is it the 8th? Yes, 8th small line. So then 8th small line will be 34. Basic unitary method. 10 lines equal to 5 rupees. 8 lines will be equal to 8 into 5 upon 10, which is 4. So this is 30 plus 4, 34. Therefore, mode is equal to rupees 34. Unit has to be given because this is expenditure. Does it lie between 30 and 35? Yes. So what did we do? Quick revision. We created a histogram, and after creating the histogram, we went to the tallest tower, which is basically the modal class, and from the modal class we drew a straight line from the lower limit of the modal class to the lower limit of the next modal class on the right hand side, so the next one, and then we drew another line from the upper limit of the modal class with the upper limit of the previous or the preceding modal class, not modal class, preceding class interval. Right? So upper limit with upper limit of the preceding one, lower limit with the lower limit of the succeeding one, and wherever these two lines intersect, from there I draw a perpendicular down onto the x-axis. I see the value. In this case, the value is 34. Perfect. That brings me to an end of this exercise. The homework questions that you should attempt are question number 1, part 2, question number 3, question number 7. Thank you. Take care. Be safe. I'll see you in the next video with exercise 24E. Bye bye.